I'd highly recommend this article, which I continue to refer to. In fact, it stimulated me into inviting Professor Hennessy to this event. One of the things that I found so interesting in that article was Professor Hennessy's very strong belief on an interdisciplinary balanced education, that those who are studying engineering should take liberal arts, and those liberal arts students should take at least some classes on technology. How should university curriculums be structured to achieve the proper balance between these two academic disciplines, liberal arts and science/technology? And more generally, what's the purpose of a college education? Let's stop there and wait for your answers before we pursue with the next related questions.
So my view is that undergraduate education is a foundation. It's not just about your first job. It's about building a foundation on which you're going to add additional educational opportunities over time. For most people, it's much easier to add additional educational opportunities in your chosen profession, courses that are directly relevant to what you're doing. So if you're an engineer, it's easy to add those kind of technical courses. If you're in business, it's easier to add professional education courses that relate to that. And I think that's true broadly. But nobody ever comes back and takes public speaking skills or writing skills or a course that teaches them how to deal with people from different backgrounds and how to lead in a highly diverse environment. Those are things that should kind of be built into undergraduate education. And while I'm enthusiastic about trying to educate more STEM students in the world, I think we should try to do that more in the US, I don't believe you should sacrifice a kind of core liberal education that balances and provides that broad foundation. I want every Stanford student to be able to think critically, to be able to write, to be able to read something complex, digest it, and understand it. And those are skills that are taught largely outside of the core engineering and science disciplines. So I believe in that. I believe in a broad education. I think, this goes both ways. Just as I'd never want to see a Stanford student graduate that hasn't read a play by Shakespeare and thought about some great work by Plato or Socrates. I also don't want a Stanford student to graduate and not know the difference between a chromosome and a gene, or not know the role of technology and how it's reshaped our world. And getting that balance in 4 years, it's hard because we are really trying to stuff a lot of things into young people's mind. I mean, you think about an undergraduate now coming to be a major in engineering. If they haven't been exposed to AP Calculus and AP Physics before they come, it's almost impossible for them to finish in 4 years nowadays.
Does AP mean advanced placement?
Advanced placement. More advanced material, right? Some calculus with physics and some calculus as well. It's very difficult to finish in 4 years now for a young person. But that wasn't true 30 years ago when I went to school. If you had that, that was a bonus. You were a step ahead of everybody. But the world has changed, and there's just a lot more that we have to squeeze into those 4 years and see students be successful.
So let's go beyond 4 years. Do you think that vocational training and specialized training should then occur in graduate school?
So I think graduate school, certainly. I mean, graduate school, my view is that for people in technical fields, the master's is the terminal degree now, not the bachelor's anymore. And that is an immersive, then you can be fully immersed. You can be fully submerged in your discipline and really absorbing material at an incredible rate. But during the first 4 years, you have to balance out these kinds of broader goals as well.